Hey guys, it's Charlie. Welcome to my Teach Abroad series where we talk about working, teaching, and living abroad. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how much money I was making in Mexico while teaching at a language institute. So let's get started. So a lot of you may know that the cost of living in Mexico is very low, but also the pay in Mexico is very low. But obviously, if the cost of living is low, it's not that big of a deal if the pay is low because it kind of balances out. But teaching in Mexico can be a big challenge if you're trying to go there just to make money. I would not recommend to go to Mexico to teach if money is what you're looking for. The company that I was working for was called Interlingua, and they actually start out at $5 an hour, somewhere around there. And this is the starting pay for the basic, normal, regular teachers. They make you do 1 month of training. Group 1 asks and Group 2 answers. For example, I say, she write lesson plans, and Group 1 asks, does she have to write lesson plans? Please repeat.
Does she have to write lesson plans?
And Group 2 answers, no, she doesn't have to write lesson plans. Please repeat.
No, she doesn't have to write lesson plans.
Okay, and then I say what, and Group 1 asks, what does she have to do?
What does she have to do?
And I say, attend a meeting, and Group 2 answers, she has to attend a meeting. Please repeat.
She has to attend a meeting.
And during that training, at the end of the training, I was promoted to empresarial, which is where I go to teach at businesses. So some companies have English classes where they have their employees take some time out of work to study English. And so I would go to different companies and teach English. So it was a little bit more professional, more business-like, because I was going to these facilities, some banks, some other companies where the employees were learning English. So I started out at $9 an hour. So I did get a raise because I was promoted. But if you think about it, if I hadn't gotten promoted, I would have been making only $5 an hour. Like I said, once again, the cost of living in Mexico is very cheap, but I wouldn't recommend anyone wanting to go to teach and just go with no money. I would always recommend to have some money saved up because you never know what's gonna happen. You always wanna have a little bit of backup. I had money saved. I was also making money online from my YouTube channel, my Skype Consultations, and I had other sources of income coming in. I also did a little bit of modeling in Mexico where I had some income coming in. And of course, because I had teaching experience, I could have started out working at a private school where I was getting paid a lot more money. You can also do private lessons where you can actually make more than you're making at a company. So there are many other ways to make more money, but I actually didn't go to Mexico just to make money. I did go for the experience, and I wanted to experience the culture, the language, the people, the food. So my priority was not making money, it was more the experience. So that is how much I was making in Mexico. Yes, I could have been making more because I had experience teaching before. I have a degree in teaching and I have a TESOL certificate, but that was not my priority. A reason that I wanted to work with Interlingua, a lot of people have complaints about them, that they're corrupt and all of these things. I personally had a really good experience. Being promoted does, even though I'm making more money, it doesn't mean that overall through the month I'm making more money because it does take more time to actually go to these companies and teach and go to and from. You're doing a lot of transport. So you have to go take a bus, take the Metrobus, you have to take sometimes a taxi. Like sometimes your money is being spent on transportation or your time is being spent on getting to the place, when making $5 an hour working at the different facilities that they have all throughout Mexico. Starting out at $5, you might be able to work at a closer location, so you might be able to teach more classes and make a decent amount of money instead of being promoted and having to take the transportation to get to work. So I hope that this video gave you a little bit of insight on how much I was making and how much you might be making teaching in Mexico. You can make more money, you can make less money, unfortunately, but there are many ways to make money in Mexico, and there are a lot of different types of schools that you can work at. So if you guys would like me to make any other video on the topic of Mexico and teaching in Mexico or working and living in Mexico, just leave a comment below and I'll be sure to try and answer some of your questions. I really loved Mexico and my experience both with Interlingua and just throughout Mexico, so I would love to share more of my stories and experiences with you guys. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if it gave you a little bit of insight into my experience. Subscribe for more, follow me on Instagram, become a patron on Patreon if you're interested, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! Today I'm going to share with you 10 jobs that you can do to make money while living abroad.